Hi guys, it's Ugo and welcome back to another video. Today I bring you a video that you never saw here on the channel, and I think you won't see it so much, but it's my winter book haul. Yes, it's the season I buy more books. It's usually on winter because of my birthday, which is October 25th, and then I save money for Christmas, and then in Christmas I receive more money and then I buy everything together, so it's much more on winter. And yeah, I have a lot of books to show you, and let's see what I bought and what arrived at my home in the winter. Before we start this massive book haul, don't forget to like and comment this video, and also to subscribe so you can support me to continue to build bookish content. And let's start with the book haul. The first books I want to show you are my Sailor Moon collection. I love Sailor Moon, as you know, and I decided to start reading the manga. I got the first volume in second hand and the seventh, and then my best friend from the UK sent me the second one for my birthday, and then I start buying the next one. So I bought the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, and the last one, the 12th. I have the full collection now, and I'm excited by reading it. It's only missing the Sailor V code, which is the short stories about Sailor V past and the short stories, but nothing new. And this is how it started my rampage of buying books. Because if you don't know the story about Sailor Moon is a manga created by Naoko Takeuchi. It also has a TV show in the 90s and in the 25th anniversary of Sailor Moon. And we follow Usagi Tsukino. She's 14 years old and she discovers she's a sailor guardian and she must defeat the evils by using the powers, and she starts to collect the other guardians from the other planets, and because each guardian has one guardian planet, and the story is very interesting, and I think there's a lot of difference between the manga and the anime, so I'm really excited about that one. Now, what really started my rampage of buying books in Christmas was seeing this beautiful box at half price on Amazon. It's the box set complete for The Witcher, so we have The Last Wish, The Sword of Destiny, Blood of Elves, The Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, The Tower of the Swallow, Lady of the Lake, and Season of Storms in this beautiful edition and this beautiful box, and it was a half price. So you tell me you won't buy an half price book box of The Witcher with the complete edition, you have to buy it. I wanted very much to read The Witcher. My boyfriend really loves the video games. He loves the lore. I watched the TV show with him. I really love the TV show and I wanted to read the books, so now I have it. They're here. Yay! Of course, when you start buying books, you won't start buying just one, so I continue my orders and I order. This one was also very cheap, and it was The Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. This book has a review already here on the channel. I'll link in the corner the books that have review here. But it was a new release. It has in hardback. The edition is very beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm excited for the second one. So this was a very good purchase. Then a book recommended by Murphy Napier. If you don't know her, she's one of the most known booktubers on fantasy, and she really enjoyed this series, and I think is a self-pub book, and it's Sufficiently Advanced Magic by Andrew Rowe, and it's the first book of the Arcane Ascension series. Yeah, it sounds a very interesting mission, and look at the art cover. The art cover is very beautiful, and the book is heavy, but I love the texture on it. It's very good. The story sounds very interesting, and Murphy said it's a very good introduction to fantasy. We have Corin and his brother try to enter the Serpent Spire, and if you reach the top, you can get a mark that will peer the magical powers, and if you get to the top, you can be granted a bond by the Spire's goddess. But Corin's brother never returned, so now it's Corin's chance and time to go into the Spire. But he has to go on training because it's very hard. There are a lot of traps, a lot of monsters, and he has to make allies. And it sounds a very interesting story. It's a very thick book. It's not very long. It's like 600 pages, but the book itself, and it's floppy. I like floppy books. The next book was a gift, and I signed in for the Secret Santa, or the one I missed the Secret Santa from Reddit, and I received To Sleep in the Sea of Stars by Christopher Poloni. I got here the message. for the person. I really enjoyed it. I really loved Aragon from Christopher Poloni, and I was interested on sci-fi by him. It's a very chunky book, and I know that a part of this book is already translated in Portuguese. I didn't understand why they divided it in two, but the English edition is a full story. In this book we follow Kira, and she's on a mission on a uncolonized planet, but she discovers an alien relic, and first she's very delighted, but then she's very scared because the sand around her starts to move, and a war erupts among the stars. Kira is launched into a galaxy-spanning odyssey of discovery and transformation. First contact isn't always what she imagined, and events push her to a very limit of what it means to be human, while Kara faces her aura's hurt and its colonies stand upon the brink of annihilation. Now Kara may be humanity's greatest and final hope, so it felt very good. And I never read something on sci-fi side, so I'm very interested in like the space in one, and it sounds really good. It's very big, but yeah, I was very happy when I received it. You know, the problem of buying used books on Awesome Books is that when you start putting books there, it's never a stop because they are so cheap. And in Portugal at the time the shipping was very cheap. But yeah, it was, and you only pay for each order, so the more you order you will pay the same. So I got a lot of Stephen King's books. So I got The Gunslinger, Volume 1 of The Dark Tower. I got Volume 2, The Drowning of the Three. Volume 3, The Wastelands. Volume 4, Wizard and Glass. Volume 5, Wolves of the Kala. Volume 6, Song of Suzanne. And the last one, The Dark Tower. Each one is a different editions. But yeah, I love King. I love the ideas he has, and I really enjoy Misery and It. And I know this is his epic fantasy story. I don't know much more about it, but I'm very interested in King's work, so I decided to buy. They were very cheap, all the series. I was looking for a box, but in secondhand they were very cheap, so I bought them. I don't mind there being like a little bit ruined because they are the older editions, but I really enjoyed it. Also from Awesome Books, I got Hannibal Rising by Thomas Harris and The Silence of the Lambs with the Red Dragon, also by Thomas Harris. If you don't know, this is about Hannibal Lecter, which is a cannibal and a psychopath, and there's a famous movie, Silence of the Lamb, with Anthony Hopkins and Judy Foster. Silence of the Lamb, The Red Dragon, I think is the prequel, and this is also a prequel, so I think there is one missing, that is Hannibal. I ordered, but it didn't arrive. I was very sad because I wanted to have the collection, and they were also in hardcover, and they were very cheap. They come in very good state. There were like 2 heroes or something each one, so it's very good. I totally recommend Awesome Books. No, not so much because of Brexit, but if you live in the UK, it's an amazing way to get books. Then Dora makes me a little surprised because she asked me, "Oh, do you read this book?" And I said, "No." "Oh, so I will send you." And I thought, well, she's gonna send me, and then I read it and I return it. And then when it arrived, I opened the book, and there was like saying that was for me, and I was like, "Why? I thought that you will lend me the book." "Oh no, it was for you. I thought you didn't understand." And the book she gave me was You by Caroline Knaps. She read it, she loved it. There's a TV show on Netflix, I think, but it's about Stalker. This is the English edition. I don't know much more about it. I just know it's about the Stalker, and he's like much more crazy, but he has a beautiful dedication that she made to me, and with this sticker. And when she read it already in 2017, so I'm just 4 years behind, but no problem. I can read it now. There is a third coming out, so yeah. Thank you, Dora, for this lovely gift. For this lovely gift. I love you. Also a gift from, and this was a Christmas gift from my boyfriend, was The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. At the time I'm recording this, I am already starting the Mistborn trilogy. I'm buddy reading in a Discord's Portuguese server with a lot of other booktubers and non-booktuber people. And we are buddy reading this. By the end of the month we should finish. So will be a review sooner or later here on the channel. And I must say, from what I'm reading, I'm really enjoying. And I already have the first and the second one, which I bought in second hand, and now I have the third one. This follows a world there where the villain one and the bad guy, and we have the main character is Vin. She's paying the death of her brother to this guy, from what I'm seeing now. And they have a lot of elements, and they can burn the elements, and each metal has a different interaction. They can increase your strength, it can protect from the pulses, because that it really has some energy, so it can protect you. It can manipulate emotions, so it's very interesting. And I know Brother Sanderson is amazing writing magic systems, and I'm really loving it. And now I have the third one. So then on boxes, I saw this box and it was really cheap, and I never read the story, but I remember watching the first movie, and I was like intrigued by the story. It's a middle grade series, and it's the Darren Shawn saga, and you might know it by the name of Tic du Fric, the Vampire Assistant, which was a movie. This is the full box collection. You see, it's so beautiful. It says Tic du Fric, and it's 3 volumes, have a different color. It was very cheap, it was less than 20 euros. And I was interested when I saw the movie on television. I was like, it sounds interesting, the story, so I wanted to get it. I don't know if I'm gonna read it so soon, but they are so small that it's gonna be like a book per day. When I'm bored or I'm in a reading slump, I believe I'm gonna pick it up, so read it as soon as possible. But yeah, it follows our main character, which I don't know the name. I think it's Darren. Because it says, and he starts to go to somewhere, and then he finds this vampire. Then he gets transformed into this vampire and starts to be the vampire assistant. But then his best friend goes to the other vampire, so they start being enemies. That was what I remember from the movie. A book that appeared on my TBR for this month, but I postponed it for next month because of that buddy read group, was The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This was a gift also for my birthday, but only arrived in January because this edition on paperback was only released in 31 of December. And this also was a gift from my lovely friend from the UK. And we have Linus, who works on this magic ministry, and he has to go to this orphanage where there are magical children and they are dangerous, and then he has to find something to close that thing. But then he falls in love with Arthur, who is the headmaster of that orphanage, and he starts falling in love with the children. I heard only amazing things about this, and we're gonna read it in April. So in April it's gonna be on my TBR, and I hope, and this time will be the first one I'm gonna pick to read. So here it is. Another book that arrives here at my house was Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. I was listening to this in audiobook in August, I think. I was working outside of Lisbon in a COVID project, and well, it has 2 factors. It was in British accent, which I'm not tend to dislike so much, but I wasn't loving it, and I wasn't very interesting at the time. I was with some problems at work. The boss wasn't the most suitable person to be head of that project, and I wasn't in mind. So when I found, and I wanted to buy this book, but I think it was first very expensive, and then it was sold out for a long time. And when it come back, I bought it immediately because I didn't want to sold out again. So we have this character whose name is Luke, and he's son of a famous actress and ballerina or something. And the father, he is a heavy rock and roll something singer, and his father is very much what rock stars tend to be, the cliche of drugs, sex, So he has the bad guy attitude, and he's always in the magazines because he's son of something important, or someone important, so he's always in the magazine. And he works on this some charity association, and everyone is backing up because he's there. So he finds with this plan to try to find a normal relationship with someone who is dignified and who is acceptable on the society. So he has to find the boyfriend material. I found this story very interesting, and it's passed in the UK. So, and I wanted, because I was enjoying the other book, but it wasn't the right time to pick it. So now I have it. Maybe for the summer I'll try to pick it up. Now I don't plan to go too soon, but yeah, it's here on those shopping spree that I've been talking about, there was a book that was very cheap, and it's very floppy, as you can see, floppy, and is The Ember in Ashes by Saga. I heard only amazing things about this one. I think the last one came out this year. I don't know much more about the story. I'm reading now that Lila is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Martial Empire, the fine is met with that. Lila and her family does not challenge the Empire. They have seen what happened to those who do. When Lila's brother is arrested for treason, she is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help to rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for those within the Empire's greater military academy. Lila meets Elias, the school finest soldier, and secretly, most unwillingly, he and Lila will soon realize that their things are intertwined and their choices will change the fate of destiny. It sounds really interesting. I love the cover, and I heard amazing things about it. I think it's here the price that I pay, so it was $5.99. Yeah, I will. It's floppy, and it has 2 maps on the covers, as you can see. It's very good. But yeah, I will definitely read this one and see if I really enjoy it. I'll pick the sequels, but I think so. Tell me what you thought. Some of you may read it. Tell me what you thought about this. Now I have here 2 books that I won in the contests. Sometimes I'm lucky, not all the time. And the first one is The One by John Mars. This is the Portuguese edition. There is a Netflix show now where a Portuguese actor enters, so go check it out. And I heard Dora loved this one, and it's about I talk about this already, but it's not on this video. But it's about a match made in DNA, so you can match your DNA with your true love, and nothing. Well, things are maybe not what you expect by that. Everyone loves very much John Mars. I already have The Passenger by him. I haven't read anything, but I will maybe pick this one. Maybe not so soon. I don't know. I have a lot to read, so. But yeah, it was a contest, and I just entered because I never won it. I never won almost anything, and when I won, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I liked it." And so here is The One. The other book that I won, and this one from a contest that Mjrlitch and Anna from the Phoenix Fly do. They have a marathon from seasons, and they have 16 prompts, and you have to read the most pages as possible. But even if you don't complete it, they have like first, second, and third place, and then you have a random one. And I won the random one because I entered in the summer. I tried very hard. I finished all the prompts. I read it like a lot of pages. But then, yeah, on the autumn one, I just was like, I'm gonna read, and then I will fill the prompts. And I got Shadow Sands by Robertbrinson. This is the second volume of the Nine Elms series. I don't know who is the series of, but the first is the Nine Elms, and he has another series that is like 5 or 6 volumes. But this is a thriller. It's not very big. I'm hoping to see Dora's opinion on it. She already has opinion for the first one, and I want to see opinion for the second one. And I will probably pick the second one and then read this one. But I was very happy, so thank you again, Andrea and Anna, for this lovely gift. Now, 2 of my friends here in Portugal bought me 2 books that I was not expecting about. And the first one is All Fall Down by Mjrlitch. This is the Portuguese edition. The person who gave me, and he likes very much of thrillers, he said he really liked this one, and he sent me a copy. I never read anything by Arledge, but I know that Dora, Sandra, and a lot of Portuguese booktubers liked it. I don't know. I know he has a lot of books. I'm seeing it there, but I don't have any of them. But I will probably, I don't know. I think it can read as a standalone. So if it can be read as a standalone, I'll be reading it, and I probably enjoy it. And the last one that he also gifted me, he pre-ordered for him and for me because we both love chess, and is the Queen's Gambit by Walter Travis. As you know, this was a success of Netflix, and I haven't saw the series, but I love chess. We played sometimes, and he said, "Well, I'm pre-ordering for me, so you will get one also too." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, because I want you." So I said, "Well, thank you." I don't know much about the series unless that she is a prodigy on chess, and she does the Gambit's Queen, which is a a strategy that we can use, and I'm really excited. I would love to read about chess, and I don't know how it is, and then I will see the series and I will update you. Remember that I told you that the books in Awesome Books are very cheap and you cannot stop buying when you're there. Well, there is more that I bought there. And I bought the whole series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Secrets. I have the whole series here, so this is the first one: The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, The Wide Window, The Miserable Mill, The Austere Academy, The Azark Elevator, The Ville Village, The Hostile Hospital, The Carnivorous Carnival, The Slippery Slope, The Grim Godot, The Penultimate Peril, The End, and then I got the Unauthorized Autobiography. The box set for this series is like 100 euros on Book Depository, and I got this whole collection like 3-4 euros each in Awesome Books secondhand. I really wanted to know the series. It's not part of my childhood, but I love the movie, and I start to watch the new adaptation with Neil Patrick Harris, and I wanted to know the stories as well. So I got the full collection, and now I start reading. It's a series that I think I will binge because they are so small and they are so middle grade that it's going to be very easy and very fluid. So I like to save these books for those months that I don't really want to read anything like very heavy, and pick just these smaller books so I can speed up and start to gain some rhythm again. More books in secondhand. Then I got Jacobi by William Ritter, also in secondhand. I don't know, I think the cover captivated me a lot, like 2-3 years ago, and then the story itself about England in the 1892. We have supernatural beings, and then we have serial killers, and I remember liking it so much, and it was secondhand, very cheap, and I said, well, let's give him a try. I don't know if I'm gonna love it, if I'm gonna continue the series, but just to give an opportunity, because I remember at the time I read the synopsis and I said, well, I really want to read that. But time passed and now I find the opportunity. As you know, I'm loving V. Schwab. I already got The Savage Song, and I'm starting to build my collection of V. Schwab. So I got Vicious by V. Schwab, and this is a duology by now. This story is about Victor and Eli. They started as college roommates, and they discover that from the right conditions, someone can develop like extraordinary abilities like superheroes, but things go wrong, and I think they start to be villains because 10 years later Victor breaks out of prison, determined to catch up his old friend, now foe, hidden by a young girl with a stunning ability. Eli is on a mission to eradicate every other superpower person he can find aside from his sidekick, an enigmatic woman with an unbreakable will. I really enjoyed it. I know that the second one is not people most enjoyable, that's why I think B. Schwab already said this is going to be at least one more book, but by now it's a duology, and I got the first one, so I'm very excited about this. Another author that I wanted to try is Liane Moriarty, and I found it very cheap, The Husband's Secrets by her on a Portuguese site for buying and selling books. It was like 2 euros, plus shipping which was 1 euro, so it was very cheap, and I wanted to read a little bit of Liane Moriarty. I don't know if it's the best, but I decided to give a chance. So it's about a woman named Cecilia that finds a letter from her husband that says, only open it when I'm dead, but she opens, and she discovers a terrible mistake that her husband confesses on a letter and will wreck the family. And then she's like in double, like, what I'm gonna do, I'm protecting my family, or I'm gonna say and give justice to whatever he did wrong. I think it would be very interesting. I don't know, but it was very cheap, so when there are cheap books, it's hard to say no. Another book that came out on my Awesome Books order was Boy Erased by Garrett Connolly. This is a true story about Garrett, and he's homosexual, but his family is very much religious, so he went to his conversion camp. There is a movie with Nicole Kidman and Russell Crowe. This is his memoir, and I'm really interested because it's a heartbroken story. How they did that to him and how he believed that, but then her mother stepping up and protecting him and learning. So yeah, I really want to give more chance to non-fiction books, and I think this one will be very good. It's not very big also. I'm really interested to know more about this story. Then I got a book that I saw it on Goodreads. I don't know why, but the cover was very different from this one, and it's called Witch by Eva E. Boston. This is a middle grade, and it's like a dark magician wants to marry, and but his wife has to be dark. This witch who wants to be a dark witch, and she wants to marry him, but she is a good witch. Even her name is Belladonna, and she's a white witch, and she's trying to find out. And the cover that I really enjoyed it was very interesting, and I don't know, it sounds really fun. It's delightful, and I like this type of books, like Neil Gaiman's, for example, Coraline or something. They are very light when you are into a lot of fantasy, a lot of thrillers, a lot of adult, to break a little bit of that. And I still enjoy middle grade. So the next books, it's a series, and Dora read the first one and loved it, and people are loving it. And it's I'm Traveling Alone by Samuel Bjork. She loved this book. She said, I think it was on her top favorite books of the year. I think it wasn't the first, but it was one of her favorite ones. And this also comes on second-handed. And I also got the third one. You're only missing the second one, but I already got the third one. It is The Boy in the Headlights. It's a North European thriller writer, so it's very dark, and for Dora loving it and says like the best thing she read on that year, it's very high standard for me. But if you like a very dark thriller, Norwegian Norwegian authors are very good, because they tend to be very dark and very heavy for what's normal. And I'm definitely gonna pick this for September Thrills from that project there is from Dora and Tininha. I have here the first and the third, and maybe after the first one I'm gonna try to find the second one. I'm building also my classic collection, and I got like beginning of last year the Three Musketeers, and I know there's a lot of books on this series, and I got The Man of the Iron Mask by Alexandre Dumas. You see the cover of the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, Jeremy Irons. So we have the Philip and Louis XIV, and they are siblings, and then one is prisoner, and they exchange. I love the movie. I really enjoyed the movie, and it's part of the series of the Three Musketeers, so it's part of that world, and I wanted to complete the series. It also was in second hand. From another classics, I got La Dame aux Camélias by Alexandre Dumas. This is the son of Alexandre Dumas, and it's another classic. It's not a big one, so it's very good to start a classic with less than 200 pages. I don't know what it's about, but I think I had the Portuguese edition one time. So this is another classic I want to start to build for my library. So, and it was also in second hand. A book that Jojo recommended me, and she said the other book is great, but I found the book in second hand in the Portuguese website, is Mythos by Stephen Fry. This is the retelling from the Great Myths. It has beautiful illustration pages here. Like some parts have like pictures from paintings and statues. It's very cool. I'll pairing this with the other book. There is a second one, there is Heroes, and there is a third one named Troy. And I really, as you know by now, I love mythology. I love Greek mythology. I love all the mythologies, and I want to pick it up. It was like €5 at the time, and this book is very expensive, brand new, so it was very good to find it, and it's in very good state. So I'm very happy for this one. Thank you, Jojo. Part of my awesome books by and Stephen King love, I bought Gerald's Game, this small edition, very broken, very old. It's very cheap. There's Awesome Books is a very good place to find Stephen King books very cheap. There are a lot of them. The more popular the author is and older, the best. There's a lot of volumes there. If they are brand new, it's very hard to find. Sanderson is very hard, but I found 3 there. Warbreaker, The Final Empire, and The Well of Ascension. I found those 3 there. But for example, Stephen King is very easy to find. You find a lot of editions, different covers. If you are a King fan, you get a lot of editions different. This also has a movie recently. So she's tied to the bed, and then her husband died or something, and she's tied like with handcuffs on the bed, and then starts to hear, and then there's a dog. It's King, it's gonna be dark, and yeah, it's here for my King collection, which is very big by now. Continue my V. Schwab. I got from Secret Santa more or less, because it was a trade on Reddit by books. We sent some books, they sent some books, and I got The Near Wish by V. Schwab and A Curse So Dark and Lonely. A Curse So Dark and Lonely is a retelling of The Beauty and the Beast, and I was really excited. I heard good things about it. I heard that the second and the third, they are not maybe so good. She also sent me The Near Witch by V. Schwab. And by V. Schwab, I got also, in this one I bought Hard Dark Duet, which is the second volume of the duology. I don't know what it's called, Monsters of Verity or something, but it's the second one. So I got my V. Schwab collection growing, and A Curse to Dark and Lonely. So thank you so much for doing this and give it to me. I hope you like yours. If you watch my channel, I don't know if she watches or not, but if she did, it's good. I also got The Aiding Game by Sally Thorne. This is an old release. It was at 3 years at Amazon. There's a Portuguese edition where the cover is like, you can grow on that one. It looks like a self-help book instead of a romance. So we have these two characters, and they hate each other, and they have to work with each other, and they start to have a lot of sexual tension between them. It's a funny romance, and people tend to enjoy it. So, and it was very cheap, and I need to make the price for the shipping from Amazon, so it was on my wishing list, so I got it. I love this one. He is the one she loves to hate. So I like this type of stories, and I like to have romances, so I can to break a little bit of fantasy. Also in romances, I got How It All Blew Up by Arvin Hamid. This is an LGBTQ story about. He's Muslim, yes, he's Muslim. So we have our main character, Hamid Azad. He always knew that coming out to his Muslim family will be a mess. But he didn't think that it will end in the airport in the regression room. When faced with a failed relationship and blackmail, running away to Rome is his only option, right? Like running away from his family. He flees to Italy, starts to having there his life that he wants, but he gets caught by the US customs officers, and his family are disclosing who it really is. So we have, I think the family is on the other side of the room, on another room being also interrogated, and he's there. So I found it very cute, and this was on my list, and I got it. Another thriller from an Norwegian authors, and this is a duo, and it's also a recommendation for Dara. It's Death Deserved by John Lear Orst and Thomas Egar. I don't know if the names are correctly, but I think this is about a TV show. Yeah, like a reality TV show, and then the celebrity starting to get killed. It's very interesting. And I knew when I heard the review on her channel, I thought this sounds so good, so I got it. This one I got on new, because there wasn't in second hand, but it sounds really cool. I think the second one already came out, or it's coming out, and the authors have each other different series, so you have a lot of Norwegian authors you can pick, and you can read if you like this type of dark thrillers. So yeah, it's here, and thank you, Dora, for always be part of my TBRs and hauls and everything. This book is on my TBR for a cute time, and I got it in second hand, of course, and it's The Seven Deaths, it's not Seven Husbands, The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. It's mixed feelings, this book. People hate it so much, people love it so much. I know the main character wakes up every day in a different body, and she finds to find the murder. So it's a murder mystery, but it's science fiction. It sounds very interesting. I know it's very complex, and people have to be like with attention. So it's not a book just to read. You have to be really focused on the story. But I heard good things, and it's definitely a style that I would like, because it involves science fiction in it, and like repeating the same day. I like those types of tropes, so I hope I enjoy it. Then, this book is totally by impulse, and is The Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the second book. I don't own the first book, but this one was very cheap when I bought it. So I was like, yeah, let's start buying the second one, and then I get the first one when it's available at a good price, and I already have the second one. So it's here. Don't judge me. Also got in second hand Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This is the cover from the book with Natalie Portman. This is a sci-fi trilogy, I think. I thought the book was bigger. The book is very small. It's like 200 pages. I thought the book would be like bigger, at least it seems. But I think it's not. I'm wrong. So you have these scientists, these biologists. They go to this area X, and that is very remote and mysterious. And this agency goes, and there's and each time the agency sends an expedition, things happen: a mass suicide, a hail of gunfire, the 11th fail in a fatal cancer epidemic. So each time the research team goes there, something weird happens. So it's the 12th team, and these 4 women. I don't know, I really found it very interesting, and like I said, I want to get into sci-fi, and I have some sci-fi books. But I don't know, this one was on my list. It was very cheap. This was under €2, so it was worth it. And I'm gonna read the first one and then see if I continue with the series, of course. This one people will laugh, but I got The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. Do I have The Cruel Prince? No. Why did I got this one? Because there were like 3 heroes in a big discount, like crazy, and I was like, yeah, let's get them. I don't know if I like it. I don't know what the story is about. I know it's about fairies and something, and I don't know if it's the type of books that I wanted. Yeah, I ended up buying those. It's missing the first one. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But then, well, if I don't like it, I have the whole series, so I can sell them in a trilogy. So it's a very good example how you can profit on this. And the last 4 books that I bought are Caraval by Stephanie Graber, and I know the series is already finished. The Portuguese publisher didn't want to continue, so in Portugal there is only the first book, so I already bought the English one. We have once a year we host a Caraval open to those who have been invited. Long games in the Legends Gathering Isla de los Sueños, where waning trees and elaborate snow globe maze people are never who they seem. I think it has a lot of fantasy. It has fairies, magicians. It has a lot of things. I heard people really enjoy the series, and I was really interested to know what it was about. It came damaged from a news store, so I was very pissed. It's actually rip off, but yeah, but the cover is beautiful, and I was really excited, and I love the edge. This part, the spine is very beautiful. But yeah, I know it's a fantasy story. Yeah, I just know that the fantasy story has a lot of different creatures and so on. A book that everyone is talking about, and I wanted to know why, is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This was also very cheap, like €4 or something. And it has like jade is like a drug, and people. This is about like an Asian mafia, and then you have the war for the jade. We have like it's a stone that enhances warriors' natural strength and speed, and that is a drug, like I said, that enables anyone to use the jade. And there's a war between the 2 clans that control the jade. And people are loving it, so I want to know why, and I got it. The last 2 books are new releases that I was excited on the first trimester, and the first is Lore by Alexander Bracken. I read a sneak peek on NetGalley, and I was loving it, and I wanted to have it. It arrives a little bit later, because it almost arrived like 3 months later than it was supposed. I already heard mixed reactions, that people wanted things more explored. I don't know if it's going to be a series. Sorry, but I'm really interested. As I know, I love mythology, and I love everything to be with the goddess, and the cover is beautiful. I really enjoy it. So yeah, it's here. And the last book I want to talk about is a one that is also people talking about, and it's Legend Born by Tracy Dion. This is an Arthurian retelling. So we have our main character, who is Bree, and her mother is killed, and then she is in college, and then she starts to see something magical appearing, and they try to whip her memories, and then instead of that, they ended up waking up her magic. So it's very interesting. I heard a discussion with Jess Aaron and something else and someone else, I don't recall. And I was in the spoiler free part. They said the magic system is very complex. There's a lot of magic systems, and there's a mission between YA and adult. The author didn't have so much. Sometimes it looks young adult, sometimes it looks adult, and there's a lot of different magic systems, as I said, which is very cool. It's here, the bloodline, the ranks. It sounds really interesting, and I know it's going to be a series, so, and I'm really interested, and I probably am going to pick it up also in the summer. So guys, these were the books that arrived at my home during the winter. Don't expect to be this big the next book hauls on spring and summer. Tell me in the comments if you reached this far. Which book did you like it more? The ones that you are excited, the ones that you also bought, or the ones that you want me to read first? I would love to hear that. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so I see you guys on my next video. Bye.